Good morals, my friends! My name is XaneKudo and welcome back to Cupid. So, we now know why Catherine offed herself. Tragic. Tragic, tragic, tragic. Oh man. But, we're past all that, I think. So now, we're getting into some partying. Yay. Whatever. In a once slumbering town, the streets were alive with flowers. Pretty young girls wrapped in thin white dresses lined up in a rows, teetering excitedly among themselves. Each maiden was armed with a basket brimming with flowers. When the clock struck 8, it was the given signal. Girl by girl, the rows progressed down the crowded street, their dresses twirling as they danced. Colors scattered as they unloaded their baskets. Dahlias, tulips, orchids, poppies, sweet peas, they all spiraled across the air into the hands of the startled citizens. The young men on the street sprang into action. They cheered and hooted and clapped and laughed, and the girls curtsied to them in return. "If it's your..." Some interrupted boys even dared blow a kiss, hoping for a reward. And when the girls blew kisses back, they ran in the tips of their ears and hooted in joy. Most likely, they were virgins. Rose! Rose! Hey, Rose! At first, she didn't know who he was talking to. But then she saw the rose he flourished in front of her, like a gentleman magic trick. Well, I have something to call you now. I have to call you something, right? How about Rose? Wait, is this the same Rose from before? Are we in Rose's flashback? This particular boy has been at her tail for several days now. The flower festival was a good excuse for romance. It was around this time that the young men of the town were wooing their prospective lovers. Most would have gone for a taller, more outspoken type of girl, but for some reason this boy was smitten with her. Oh, come on, take it! She shook her head. She knew she didn't deserve it. I came with that stone cold act. Oh, come on! You're breaking my art! He laughed gaily, enjoying the thrill of courtship. Why do you love me so much? Is that what's bothering you? I'll tell you one thing, Rose, and you better remember this for the rest of your life. When someone loves someone else, there's no need for a reason. I just love you, Rose. Good job. Won't you at least smile for me? You love me? He flashed his best useful grin. Sure, I love you. To the moon and back. My back. She knew she shouldn't take the rose. She knew it was wrong. And yet, she also knew at this instant that her face was burning hot. Her fingers closed on the rose. Even as she felt the thorns on her skin, she still held onto it. The expression on the boy's face was one of absolute bliss. He hooted and did a little dance. I do love you, Rose. I really do. He grinned at her. To her surprise, she found herself smiling back. A warm, pleasant feeling gushed inside her. It was like tucking in a hot home-cooked meal. Mother, I'm home. Nowadays, she and her mother lived in a quiet cottage, far away from the main streets. The joy and exuberance of the flower festival had long since faded away now, leaving her with the stillness of the lonely house. Mother, are you home? There was no answer, not even a sound. Usually her mother would have heard the door open by now. She would run up and plaster her with hugs and kisses. Now, however, the unnerving silence meant one of two things. One, Mother was not here, which wasn't possible because she was always here. Or two, Mother was angry. Rosa felt a chill run down her spine. She realized. Was it possible that Mother had her suspicions and had followed her? Mother, I'm coming inside now. The sound of the door closing was like a clash of thunder. Rosa, bowing her head, descended deeper into the house. Mother was in the kitchen. She was bent down with her back to the doorway. washing clothes in a wooden basin. She looked just like a normal mother, but Rosa knew better, because just above Mother hung the cross. It was a heavy wooden crucifix, and had been there as long as Rosa could remember. It was so solid that if it were to drop, it would crush someone's toe. How big is that cross anyway? The girl knew this well. Having felt the cross so many times, she knew exactly how heavy it was. Ouch! The sharp corners of the cross were especially capable of drawing blood. Mother dipped her hands into the water. Squish! Squish! She crushed the clothes in a vice grip. Where did you go? Her sudden question sliced through the air. Rosa almost jumped out of her skin. Just the marketplace, Mother. She tried to press the plump red rose behind her to stomp on it and make it disappear into the ground. But it was too late. Mother stood up. Mother, it's not what you think, I swear. I'm not planning to see him again. I just wanted to make him happy, that's all. If Rosa looked at Mother any longer, she thought her courage would dry up, so she quickly glanced at her feet. I'll throw it away, Rose. I'll make sure we never see it again. So, ooh. I know that's part of the game, but ooh, that should not happen. Ouch! I actually kind of felt that too. The blow came so fast she never expected it. Suddenly she was on her knees, her skull throbbing in pain. She looked up just in time to see her mother raise her cross another time. Oh no. Fear overtook her. Although she knew it was no use running, she scrambled away all the same. Mother, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Ouch. How much do you think raising a child cost you, little rat? Mother, please. Undeterred, the cross slammed hard into Rosa's collarbone. She shrieked, rolled over, and tried to get back to her feet. I clothed you, I housed you, and I even feed you. I protect you from everything that might harm you, and yet I asked nothing in return. Absolutely nothing. Didn't I tell you not to go to that festival? Yet you can't just help shaking your hips at those men, can you? All of them want to say it, didn't I say it? Up and down came the cross. By now, Rosa had retorted to curling up to the wall, covering her eyes. She cried out her pleas, her vows of obedience and love. Do you have any idea how much I sacrificed? What I wasted my life for? To be stuck with a stupid child who doesn't know how to listen. I've told you time and again, do not disobey me. I should have smothered you years ago. You are a curse. I do this all for you, to protect you, and you repay me how? With lies and betrayal. I should have thrown you out the window and watched the crows feed on your remains. It's not too late now, don't you think? Maybe I should teach you a harder lesson. Maybe I should leave you here right now and never come back. Worse than any physical pain, the girl felt the despair so big it made her heart burst. Rosa clung to her mother's legs. Please, Mother, please don't leave me. I'll atone for this somehow, Mother. So please, stay with me. You're beyond atonement, you degenerate whore. With one vital strike, Mother sent her spinning to the ground. The cross had hit her face. Rosa tried to open her eyes and felt something warm trickle down her face. She lay on the floor, crying. Her tears mixed with the blood, and she wondered if Mother really was going to walk out of the house. She could still hear Mother's footsteps, feet thudding near her head. At first they were hard and fast, and slow and hesitant. At some point in time, Rosa realized that the blows had stopped. She dared not raise her head from the floor, so she waited. Something touched her head. It wasn't a cross, but a soft, warm hand. A sound of a sob. Darling, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. God, what have you done? Rosa tensed, but she allowed Mother to set her up. The next thing she knew, Mother had wrapped her arms around her. She was crying. Poor thing. I'm so sorry. Mother, so stupid. Her tears were genuine and mournful. The struggle in her eyes hurt 1,000,000 times more than any blow. I shouldn't have done that. The woman stared at her hands. She dropped the cross as if it was spoiled meat. The girl let her mother hug her. It was her fault anyway. She had disobeyed Mother. She deserved the punishment. No, she didn't. I'm guessing the mother's kind of bipolar. You know, angry one moment and beating her daughter with a freaking cross. The next minute she wonders what the hell she's done. She drowned herself in her arms and felt a familiar surge of love. This was home. Home. No matter how broken, life before Mother was a blur. She was nothing without her. Mother took into her eyes and touched her face, wiping away her tears. She locked her lips around hers and delivered a long, deep kiss. Wait, did I just read that right? Did that say lips? I mean, it's normal for a parent to kiss a child on the lips, you know, for love and affection. I'm probably reading too much into it. I love you so much, my darling. Please, forgive me. I love you too, Mother. Don't cry. Oh, you're bleeding. Just wait here. Mother sat on a chair and returned with a roll of bandages. She began nursing Rosa's head with delicate care. I'm sorry, Mother. No, I'm the one who's sorry. Forgive me for what I said. You know I will never leave you, right? Even if you have committed the foulest sin, I will never desert you. I will always be by your side. Thank you, Mother. I get worried, darling. You understand? Well, I don't know if getting worried kind of constitutes as kind of goes into abuse, but yeah. Yes, I am very afraid. Always afraid. The woman's voice dropped into a whisper. A sudden split second of lucidity. You scare me. Huh? She shook her head, forgetting the thought. Just obey me from now on. I promise. Mother knows what's best for you. Yes, Mother. Later on, at dinner time, Rosa's favorite dish was on the menu. The vegetable and meat stew with brown gravy that only her mother would make. Rosa tucked in eagerly, all the while feeling the cool bandage pressed tightly against her forehead. The events of the past hour had already seemed to fade away into a distant memory. Mother sat across the table, also eating. She seemed to be deep in thought. Mother? I won't see that boy anymore. If he calls out to me, I'll run until he can't catch me. I know you were doing the right thing, my darling. You didn't ask for all this, did you, you poor thing? If only your father was a better man. Here, Rosa pricked up her ears. It was rare to hear Mother talk about father, and even rarer to see her mention him so commonly. All throughout her life, Rosa had wondered about the man whom Mother had fallen in love with. Now it looked like she had the opportunity to glean a few more rare bits of information. Father, was he good to you? Mother puckered up her lips and appeared to ignore this. Rosa decided to risk it and ask another question, tentatively. Did you love him a lot? Mother's eyes were somewhere far away. I don't know. No emotion, neither pain nor fondness, registered on her face. But he certainly loved me back then. Maybe. Now I'm smarter. I know better than to trust men like him. You too will understand when you grow up that people who love you will hurt you the most, and you will only have yourself to blame. After all, you gave them permission to rearrange the R-rings of your soul. Do not give anyone that permission. Rosa nodded, accepting her mother's teachings. I don't think you want to accept that. Promise me, darling, when the time comes and you meet a demon like your father, you'll take revenge from me. Take revenge from me? Rosa's hands were over her head. She pressed herself into a corner, panting. She never had heard mother this loud before. Take revenge! Is that... what is... Mother, are you in my head right now? Okay, Mother, you're creeping me out. This one was so loud, it rattled around her skull and made her vision blur. Mother, what more do you want? Spells already? She bent her head down, black spots creeping into the edge of her vision. She was so tired. You cannot hide anything from me. What is this doubt you are nursing? You are hesitating. You are crafting another spell. You stupid harlot. That filthy Marquis is exactly the kind of monster I have been warning you about. You dare plan behind my back? I just don't want to kill anymore, Mother. She couldn't help but answer back this time. How could she not? After years filled with love and acceptance, it made her realize all the more how precious life was. The thought of snuffing out somebody else's life sent a detestable shiver through her bones. She had planned on running away from this place, abandoning whatever duty that now fell into her hands. Well, why was it her duty anyway? She just wanted to take the good memories of this place and take them no longer. Whatever truth she sought wasn't enough payment for peace. I don't want to. Her voice shook. I don't want to kill him, Mother. I don't want to kill anyone anymore. Please. Is this cowardice or stupidity? Oh, another save point. We're gonna see this one. Yes, sir. Okay. Fancy him? Do we fancy him? I think that probably would be the more interesting choice. Or maybe. The voice petered out in an abrupt, chilly silence. Rosa waited, sweat dripping down her brow. I knew it. You fancy him, don't you? You filthy whore! It's not like that, Mother. Past and present, rinse and repeat. Always a selfish little girl. Rosa was horrified. No, I'm not selfish. A selfish little girl that loves a murderer more than her own mother. With his final proclamation, Rosa was struck to the floor. This feeling of fainting was stronger than before. Alone in the dark, she lay there, panting like a sick dog, waiting for what would come next. Guillaume killed me. He made love to me, and then he betrayed me. He deserves death. Only you can kill him. I can't kill him. It's what I want. That's not true. It is. You're my best friend, Rosa. Friends avenge each other, don't they? My darling daughter. I can always count on you to do the right thing. So kill him. Kill Guillaume. Kill him. Promise me. Make him suffer. Stab him with a knife. Stuck a dagger down his throat. Gouge his eyes out. Take revenge! Rosa clutched her head so hard she thought her skull would burst. For a long moment she lay as she thought she were dead. 5 minutes. 10 minutes passed. Then, in the middle of the empty room, Rosa's voice rang out as clear as a bell. I understand. Rosa knocked on GUILLIEME'S door, carrying a tray of food. She had been poisoning his meals in small doses for weeks now, taking note of any ill effects he yielded. There had been none. GUILLIEME was still fit and healthy as ever. No symptoms at all, even after she had increased her dosage. Either he hadn't eaten anything for a month, or he was immune to poison. Those possibilities were suspect. Rosa knocked again. There was no response from the other side of the door. It may have worked. There was not to the loss, however. She remembered Catherine mentioning how particular GUILLIEME was with his sleep. Just as she had been about to give up, she had ventured on this hunch. It was true. GUILLIEME was curiously rather sensitive to sedatives. Rosa had offered rose tea to GUILLIME that afternoon under the guise that she had made a new recipe. It had been laced with opium and Valium, sweetened with honey to mask the taste. Whether or not it was the casting of Philia, he had drunk it without a second thought. He had retired early that evening. Rosa noted the grogginess visible in his gait. She struck the master key this evening. Tonight is her night. Rosa pushed the door to his room open. It took a couple seconds for her eyes to adjust to the darkness. It felt like a different world inside his room. By closing the door, it was as if she had cut herself off from the living room. Rosa took an unsure step once she found her bearings. She flicked the tray of food on the nearest flat surface, careful not to make any noise. The candle she lit proved little comfort. It seemed to cower from the intimidating blanket of shutters. Rosa heaved. The air felt humid here, the atmosphere almost stale. Now that she was inside and venturing deeper, a sudden impulse to find the door gripped her. She looked back. It seemed further away. Why was she so anxious? She had been in this room before. It was perfectly normal. Tonight, it was a different story. The room seemed to breathe. Rosa gulped. What a curious word. There was no other way to describe it though. The flickering shadows made it seem like the walls were respiring around her. The room felt alive. It was asleep, like its owner, but alive. In the dim light of her candle, the red carpet looked like flesh. The furnishings were visceral. It didn't feel like she entered a room at all, but her belly. Something darted in the corner of her eye. Rosa snapped her head. Just a cut. Rosa let out the breath she was holding in her chest, aware with every move her body made. She tiptoed towards the canopy. It was perhaps the highlight of this room, an organic monstrosity of red plush and velvet. From afar, it didn't look like a bed at all, but a cage. If the room was a cavern of meat, then this was its heart. Rosa approached. Every muscle in her body was tense. She could see a figure sprawled on the bed, limbs sticking out clumsily. He was lying on his chest, barebacked, closed litter on the floor. GUILLIEME seemed to have fallen into the bed instead of climbing in. One of his arms stuck out from the mattress. His breath was fitful but slow, a light snore coming from him. What was that? Rosa looked around for the source of the noise, but the room was still. A slow trickle of sweat traced her spine. Did that come from the window? Should she check? Rosa didn't move. Something was in the room with her. She could feel it. She stole a glance at GUILLIEME. He hadn't moved from the bed. Rosa's ears tried to pick up on the faintest noise. It felt like hours of her staying frozen on that spot, wishing to blend with the darkness. But there was no one there. She had probably imagined it. She took a deep breath and calmed herself down. The sooner she was out of this room, the better. Philia's effect would diminish once the candle died. After that, she might not have another chance. She had to find out more about them tonight. The thought of her girl helped her steel the nerves. Where should she begin? She took a step. Rosa darted ahead, looking for the source of the skittering noise. Her ears were too sensitive now. She heard every creak and moan in the room. She took a deep breath. From kiss. Rosa surveyed everything. It was a book by GUILLIEME'S bedside table. It was only a couple of steps away, but she had to come dangerously close to the bed. As much as she could, she'd rather maintain a distance between her and the creature on the bed. Creature. Why did she think that? Perhaps it was the arrangement of the sheets, or the shadows playing their tricks, but... Rosa shook her head. Perhaps there was another place to look. We've come here to gather information. You should check the book. Rosa sighed. Mother was right. She had to check every source to be sure. She inched herself closer to the bed. The faint candlelight indicated that the book on the bedside was red. It wasn't the journal she had seen GUILLIEME write in. Rosa tiptoed her way closer. GUILLIEME'S hand dangled mere inches away. She reached her arms towards the book and swiped it noiselessly. The candle almost went out with her sigh. She backed up from the bed with the book under her arm. Adrenaline surged in her blood. It almost made her smile. Rosa examined her prize. A book in a foreign language. She remembered seeing such thin, obscure characters somewhere. She wasn't sure which country, but it was probably Asian. She flipped the book and saw a piece of parchment folded on one of the pages. A sailing permit from a barge named La Victoria, dated from the end of the month. 2 days from now. It outlined the cargo and the purpose of the trip into no date of return. Traveling? Now, leaving. GUILLIEME was planning to leave. This was the suspicion she had since she started observing him. His sudden aloofness with the town affairs, the secret purchase of a ship, to decrease the servants in his employ. Now it was confirmed. It's just as well we found this. We must enter tonight before he has a chance to escape. Although it was a good thing to confirm the suspicion, the fact helped her a little. If anything, it just made even more urgent to find something tonight. She had to continue. Rosa steadied herself and stepped back onto the bed. Her hand finally brushed against the wood of the table after some quiet fumbling. She caught sight of something shiny inside the drawer. Open it, child. Rosa pulled the drawers open ever so slightly. She peeked inside. Inside was an ornate dagger with a golden hilt set in rubies. An old, delicate pattern was carved on its blade. There was heat emanating from it, almost like it was alive, like the rest of the room. She almost missed it in the dim light, but there was also a key in the same cabinet. Which one should I take first? We shall save here and find. Let's take the dagger. It might come in handy. Rosa closed her fingers around the dagger's hilt. A sudden feeling of repulsion came over her. She didn't want to hold the dagger anymore, and she wanted to hold a bloody human tooth. Yet, as Mother said, it might be useful later. She exacted the dagger carefully from the drawer, keeping her eyes bouncing between her prize and the sleeping man. Finally, the dagger was in her hand. There was power in it, she could tell. The sleek blade glittered with a sinister wink. Rosa placed it in her pocket, and GUILLIEME shifted. Rosa blew the candle out. She scuttled back behind a small table. It barely hit her. GUILLIEME changed positions in his sleep. Now his face was in full view and facing her direction. Rosa's heart banged in her chest. Though so loud she was concerned the room might echo the sound that announced her intrusion. Rosa waited for a few minutes before moving. She decided to crouch down, holding the unlit candle to her chest. Easy now. She shuffled away from the bed in relief. The candle was dead, but her eyes were now well adjusted to the darkness. She could make out a desk in the furthest part of the room. He must do most of his writing there. There's a huge chance the journal is near. It wasn't very dignified, but Rosa decided to crawl towards it. Now that GUILLIEME's face was in full view, a flutter of the eyelid was all it would take to catch her. It would be better to minimize her risks. She dropped her knee and placed her palm on the floor. She drew her hand back. Was she imagining it? When her palm touched the floor, it felt warm. wet. Her fingers were sucked into the floor as if she touched soft, pumpy flesh. The hallucination was so strong that her nose detected a spray of iron in the air. Her stomach heaved. She rubbed her hand. There was no wetness or blood anywhere. The floor was solid. It must have been her imagination. Rosa touched the floor warily, patting it and putting it on the carpet fibers. Just a normal carpet. Oh boy. Rosa let out slow, small breaths as they started to move once more. She paddled her way to the desk. Every time her skin came into contact with the floor, a bile rose up to her throat. It took some effort to resist the urge to gag. And finally, the desk was directly in front of her. She looked back at the bed. From this angle, it was hard to tell if Guillerme had moved. She hoped that the big desk also hid in the shadows. Rosa rummaged. There was no trace of the book on the tabletop. She only found a pile of ink, loose sheets of paper, and a quill. That damn thing had to be close. She opened the first shelf and found a stack of papers. Nothing. She shuffled through them, but the drawer didn't have the journal. She looked through the second drawer, and the third. There was nothing of interest. Finally, she pulled on the last drawer. It was locked. Rosa sucked the air through her teeth. Of course it's locked. How can I have been so stupid? Rosa stomped into a pressed heap. Why don't you use that dagger to pry the drawer open? Rosa looked at the sharp dagger in her hand. The idea appealed to her more than returning to the bedside drawer to try the key she didn't take. She shivered. The thought of approaching the bed again made her stomach wind into a tight knot. She might have to try this first. Rosa positioned the knife to pry open the lip of the drawer. The wood wasn't terribly thick. But with a little more prying, she felt the wood give under her force. Soon she heard a snap. The drawer slid open. Rosa looked inside. And there it was. In her eyes, the green journal was a treasure. She lifted the book from its resting place. It was heavier than she expected. Rosa smiled. She ran her hands along the velvet cover of the book, savoring the texture. At last, she had it. Child. Mother's voice was riddled with anxiety. Something is wrong. Her stomach had clouded her senses. Almost at once, she felt a change in the air. Everything was still. Her stomach shrunk into its cavity. Fresh sweat broke out on her scalp. Silence. It had weight. It pressed on her skin and made the air thin in her lungs. Rosa stood up. And another movement stirred the darkness. With his footsteps. Rosa froze. She heard a sigh, a chuckle, a soft, amused whisper. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I spy with my little eye. Her brain fired several commands all at once. Run, duck, hide! But her body was paralyzed by fear. Warm breath tickled her nape. She felt the hand reach out for her neck. Rosa turned. There was no one there. She scrambled from the floor, journal in hand. Her eyes focused on the rim of light broadening the room. She grabbed the knob and half expected it to be locked. But it turned and she dashed out the door, panting. Rosa was sure that any second now, hand will pull her back into that cursed room. A figure will be standing there, running from ear to ear. Little thief. She was so sure that the words almost materialized. Nothing came. Nothing stirred. The room was simply dead. Rosa finally caught her breath. She urged herself to move. There was no time to linger. Despite her shaking legs, she wanted to put as much distance between herself and the room as possible. Rosa gathered her wits and stared at the journal in her hand. She hoped it would contain the information they needed. Whew! Oh, man. Whoa! Whew. That was a fun read. Yeah, I think everything here was a fun read. Oh, man. I never knew Rosa was... I I never knew that would happen. I had a feeling. I wonder if I took the key. Well, either way, it probably would have happened. I don't know. I wonder what would happen if I took the key. Would he have woken up and got me? I don't know. Guillerme'S is definitely not what we think he is. In this warm, dim light of the library, Rosa opened the journal's cover. She wasn't too surprised to find that a number of entries were written in different tongues. The day jumped from decade to decade, their writing spanned centuries. A little suspicion validated. Guillerme was not human, or at least he did not have a normal human lifespan. The discovery made Rosa search her mind for her date of birth. It distressed her that she could not remember. She shook her head and took back to the journal. Despite the multitude of languages, the first entry was translated to several languages. For sentimental reasons, perhaps? Or maybe a feeble attempt at reminiscing a more innocent time. Okay, I gotta... Oh, my eyesight. Okay. I'm learning to write. Aaliyah gave me pot paper. I like Aaliyah. She wants me to call her mother. She smells like oranges. She says I am a gift from the goddess, but I don't know any goddesses. Aaliyah calls me Rai. I guess that is my name now. It is nice to have a name. The other preceding pages were still in a different language. Rosa flipped through the pages until she came upon one she could read. They call me Eros, a god, a divine. They don't understand what I am. They either build me statues or spit at my feet. I'm a muse. I'm a blight, a symbol, but I am not the act. It seems ironic, isn't it, that love craves love above all. That which I need, that which I am, poisons me to the point that I am sick of this taste. It's May 6. I see it in the way people look at me, the way they act around me. Some would, of course, think of me as blessed. I have youth, health, and the gift of being loved. But I found that these gifts are curses as well. My youth forces me to always wonder. My looks guaranteed I will always stand out. And love, the very same urge that blesses me, quickly turns to rabbit, yet I understand why. Oh, love. We all crave it, don't we? In the end, we are all drunk in the idea that only love can hold our brokenness. They all think I am this cure. But I keep hoping there might be something else besides this twisted sentiment. There must be. Mustn't there? Rosa read the words and felt a tugging at her heart. This was the same feeling she had had for years. It almost seemed like the words were her own. I know that I'm not supposed to be writing this. God forgive me. I do not want to write it down. If I do, it will be the truth. Oh, Lord, please forgive me. I didn't mean to do it. I just wanted to stop hurting. I am hiding now. I slashed my face and cut my hair so they will not recognize me. Pain. Pain is good. A penance. Oh Lord, please. If there's a God listening, please strike me down! But bad memories began to surface in Rosa's mind. Desperation. A cornered animal that fought back. It reminded her of her innocence. Her hands were drenched in red. And yet here she was, planning to kill another man. This had been her goal all along, hadn't it? The same familiar guilt began to stir in her mind. She bit her lip. Rosa skipped some entries, most of them were garbled, almost incomprehensible. And no, I will not give you $20. They were written in old ink, painted unloved. Still, though they were melancholic, they painted a picture of a man with sufficient black humor to keep sane. 28th of November. The plague that confirmed my suspicion that I do not die for sickness. I don't know how to feel about that. Everyone has died. Everyone is dead. But on the bright side, everyone is dead. June 7th, 1489. For decades I have searched for something in this life and I am always disappointed by transience. What am I looking for? Meaning? Hope? Love? Death? Maybe. I can bleed. Wounds to the heart have healed slower than the rest of my body. I think I may die wounded enough. I've tried that. There was a time where seeing myself bleed was the only reminder that I am not numb. Yet my body does not form scars no matter how many times I draw my knife. Like any sign of age or ugliness, they all fade. A wrinkle today, gone to next, as if my body isn't even my own to brand. That is a shame. I want to mar my body so badly that anyone who sees me will flee, but I've tried that too. People are crueler when you are ugly. Why is that? Why do they feel the need to punish you simply because you are detestable? Perhaps because they can, or perhaps because it is easier to be cruel to those which do not belong. I don't belong. It would be nice to disappear one day. There it is. This is confirmation that he can be killed. Really? It kind of seems like he's immortal and he kind of wants to die. I mean, I don't think he can die, considering that he tried that before. So he bleeds like everyone else, but he heals enough not to die. I strike to the heart. If we find a way to leave this wound open, perhaps he can be exterminated. Rosa continued reading. Another feeling was starting to grow in her chest. She began to question the cause the more she read through the journal. Oh boy. Reading these journal entries. Boring. I am staying in the old March farm. They are good people. They invited me to eat with them, and it was in the warmth of their fire that I knew that I must leave. I will only destroy the happiness. For the briefest of moments, I was able to experience what it is like to be part of a family. Not an outsider, but accepted. Little Sissy has taken a liking to me, though. Children are curious creatures. They are a constant reminder to humans of their own impending death, their own weakness and morality. Yet people keep making them. One may wonder why, but it is not difficult to understand. It is the tantalizing thought, the hope, that no matter your past mistakes, you are able to make something pure at one point. Watch it grow, watch it live. Such a poor thing looking up to you for love and care. It is both power and vulnerability, both selfish and selfless. A curious thing indeed. Rosa shuffled through more papers and saw a different penmanship in one such entry. It caught her eye. In January of 1500. New century. I like it. I smell change in the air. It is so much easier to lie when you have the means. Trading is a good sport. My name nowadays is Baron Eric Dobenshaw. How could I have forgotten mankind's paralyzing obsession with titles? Names have power. Titles have power. I simply bought a horse and good robes and introduced myself as such. Everyone fawned over it. I could get used to this. The taste is refreshing. I must plan this better next time. A background, a story. People love stories. Maybe there should be an actor next. 27th of March, 1507. Creeds everywhere. Human nature stays the same. The powerful will take advantage of the damned. So it is all a struggle for control. Is that all there is? I thought it would be different. In the learned class is a different era. What was I expecting? Fortunately, I'm already well acquainted. The entry premiership is scratchy and difficult to understand. 1st of December, 1550. I am tired of this life. It is an eternal cycle and I can't stand the taste of this any longer. Love turns to ash in my mouth. I am trying to stop. I want to stop. It is my 7th day without consuming anything other than normal food. It barely grazes the bottom of my stomach. I want to see if I will die without eating love. I'm sick of this. Now you know what he is, Rosa. He consumes love. I do not know exactly what he is, but he is a monster. A demon! Didn't I tell you? I felt it in my bones. Save here. Okay, read more or stop? Okay, I need a coin. Ooh, some coins there. Ease up. Alright. Heads, I read more. Tails, I do not. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. You have learned enough. You know what he is and how to kill him. There is no need to read further. Rosa's hands were shaking by then. A growing feeling of understanding came over her. His thoughts were too much like her own. They were too similar. Guillieme consumes love. Rosa remembered the taste in her mouth when she had kissed Catherine. There was something else in that kiss. A boundless flavor that coated her mouth and made her realize how hungry she was. The same night that Catherine began to change. Rosa's throat throbbed. The thumping felt like it resonated through her whole body. Rosa fell to her knees. The same feeling of dread began to rise up in her throat. The mere mention of the thought seemed to summon the feeling in her chest. She gagged. Did I taste Catherine's love that night? That means I'm also... Mother? Am I the same? She hastily pulled out the locket that Guillieme had given her previously. It was still as difficult to open as before. Right now, Rosa was on with a terrifying conclusion. She struggled with the damn thing until she thought her nails would peel off her fingers. The pendant popped open, revealing a yellowing portrait inside. Finally figured it out, have you? Do you see it now? Do you see my mother wants his punishment? My child, he is a monster. The very thing I stopped you from becoming. Don't you see? I saved you. I stopped you from feeding on other people's love. I didn't want you to be filthy. Mother's love is all you need. You have learned enough. Now you know what you must do. Kill him. He is what I fear the most, Rosa. He must perish. Rosa's face contorted into order. The discovery of Guillime's identity shook her to the core. But it also made her feel the burden of the years together. Perhaps the understanding of his pain as well. Must we really do this, Mother? You still have doubts after everything you have learned? No, but now it just makes me want to. You stupid child. Can't you see it is what we should have done? Oh, okay. Three. Okay, four. Oh, God. Go to page 4. Uh, do it for the greater good because I miss Catherine. You killed Catherine, you bastard. I just noticed that. He should be stopped. It is the right thing to do. Is it really? It is easy to say that, but what do you really want? Another save point? Okay. Let's be good now. He must be stopped. If he will not stop, there will be more victims in the future. He has grown in pride and greed. There's no telling what he will do in the future. He is nothing but a monster, a rabid dog that must be put down. But we risk it. He has become haughty and powerful. Soon enough, this power will drive him mad. Am I not like him, Mother? I am also a monster. We are the same. You're not. You are not a monster. I raised you, guided you, and loved you enough. All my sacrifices were for you. To stop you from turning into something like him. Oh, I was always afraid. Always, always. But you are my dear daughter. He may be a monster, but you are not. Because of me. Because of a mother's love for her child. I don't know, is it me or does Rosa look highly delectable right now? Now that you know his true face, there is only one thing to do. Kill him. No. No. think he can change? Perhaps I might still be able to save him. Uh, oh boy, will he never change? He's been like this for quite some time. I don't think I want to get the good ending. Uh, let's try for the good ending. What makes you think he would listen to you? He has fed for centuries. His addiction is his own curse. It controls him. Yes, but isn't he a creature of love? So am I. Love, no matter how lonely or depraved, always gives all of itself. Only I can understand. Only I can save him. That is why I want to try. Okay, what do you think to do? The spell cannot be reversed now. It is dangerous to leave it unfinished. I will light the gate and make him remember. Oh my god, a lot of these are just the choices in this one single paragraph. What if it doesn't work, child? A gate is a blessing, not a curse. A monster of his kind will only shrug it off. And what will become of you then? Please don't do this. Trust in me, mother. I will do the right thing. You? You? What could you possibly hope to do, you dumb child? You're ignorant, naive, just as brainless, dangerous, the idiotic, idealistic girl with a head up in books and fiction. There's no happy ending in this life, you worm. Oh, you bring me so much pain. I should have abandoned you years ago. You cannot hurt me anymore, mother. I know that you love me. You are my memory. As such, I want to remember you as the one person who loved me with her whole heart, not the tainted woman who abused me. It is my fault to act this way. Your voice is my own insecurities and my own pain. Now, not anymore. How dare you degrade me into an apparition? I am real. Listen to me. You have called me a good. You crave atonement. I will still listen to you and love you, but my mind is clear. I am capable. I will save him, whether you allow me to or not. I'll try to save him from himself because that's what I'm supposed to do. Perhaps this is the reason why I was sent this way. I got to spend years with him and have memories of him. He taught me how to be strong. He got to watch me grow into this strength. It is more than I can ask. You know that he does not feel the same way for you. He does not love you, child. Yes, that makes me better than him. And because I love him without asking for anything in return. A concept that has never yet crossed his mind. Another save. So be it. Just know that he is powerful and full of pride. He will not take kindly to being bound by magic. We can only hope, Mother. And another save and another go. I am always here in your memories, my dear. Whatever happens, please take care of yourself. Thank you, Mother. My beautiful daughter. I don't want to say goodbye, but I still love her. Okay. Oh, wow. We skipped a chapter. Oh, my God. Did we just skip the chapter? We did. Oh, shit. We skipped the chapter. Wow. We skipped the whole entire chapter. That. Wow. Okay. I think we're going to stop here. Yeah. So, we skipped entirely chapter 7. Holy shit. So, I kind of have a feeling that in chapter 7, that was probably like the bad ending. So I think we're going towards the good ending. Or it could be reversed, but who knows? But we're going to hear because this is getting very interesting. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends so that you may all enjoy it together. And so, until next video, see you next time.